By now, we have fallen in love with the entire cast of Descendants 2. But what if the iconic roles were played by different stars? Stay tuned to see who Dove Cameron could lose her job to. Are you new around here? Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to The Things for more. Now, let's talk about a different cast of Descendants 2. Harry Hook. Who doesn't love to look at Harry Hook in Descendants 2? He is just so beautiful. Thomas Doherty plays the character perfectly, but you know who might also look pretty dreamy as Harry? Cole Sprouse. We know he has been killing it on Riverdale, but no one can forget that he got his start on the Disney Channel. He has those same piercing eyes that Thomas has, so it wouldn't be that big of a jump to switch the characters out. Plus, wouldn't you just love staring at Cole for the whole movie? We know we would. Disney, let's make it happen, please. Gil. Speaking of hotties, let's talk about Gil for a second. Though he is meant to be a villain, he is after all the son of Gaston. We can't help but love to look at him. He's pretty happy-go-lucky, which doesn't hurt things either. Though we aren't really in the market for any villains right now, we wouldn't mind spending a little time with Gil. Right now, he is played by Dylan Playfair. Dylan looks great and does a good job in the role, but what if Shawn Mendes actually landed the role of Gil? Can you imagine? Just take a second and think about it. His musical talents paired with his good looks. Swoon. Jane. Let's switch gears and talk about the good kids for a second. First up is Jane. In the film, Jane is shy and immediately afraid of the villains. This could have been due to the fact that she couldn't use magic at the beginning of film. She does, however, mistrust Mal later in Wicked World. What Jane really needs is a little edge to her, and who better to give her that edge than Selena Gomez. Currently, Jane is played by Brenna D'Amico, and while we love her, we really think that Selena could encompass Jane's sweetness while adding a little flair. Chad Charming. Up next is the resident Dream King of the film, Chad Charming. And by Dream King, we mean he's only the king in his dreams. Chad is awful. He's the son of Cinderella and Prince Charming, but his personality needs some work. Seriously, he is so annoying. Right now in the film, Chad is played by Jedediah Goodacre. But Jedediah seems like too much of a goody two-shoes to really add the underhanded element to the role that it needs. Don't you think that Zac Efron would make an amazing Chad Charming? He's got the good looks down, but he can also look really sinister if he needs to. Plus, we just love to look at him. Fairy Godmother. How many of you hated when your moms would show up at school? It's really not a good feeling, especially if you're in trouble. It was always a little embarrassing. Well, Jane's mother, Fairy Godmother, is always at school because she's the headmistress of Oradon Prep. She even gives Remedial Goodness 101 lessons. In the movie, she is played by Melanie Paxson. But what if Lee Allen Baker got the role? Do you remember her? She was the mother on Good Luck Charlie. We loved her on that show, so why not watch her in one of our favorite movies? We think she would fit right into the film. Uma. Back to the villain side for a second. You can't talk about villain kids without bringing up Uma. Uma is the daughter of Ursula and pretty much the main antagonist in the movie. She is the leader of her own crew of pirates and believes she is the queen of the Isle of the Lost. Though she may be evil, she is not afraid to go after what she wants, and we can respect that. China Ann McClain currently plays the role of Uma, but what if we switched it up a bit? What if Sky Jackson played the role? We watched her play Zuri Ross on Jessie, and she did amazing at that. The only person who could bring the sass needed to play Uma other than China is Sky. Evie. Can you imagine being the daughter of the evil queen? Usually mothers tell you that looks don't matter, but that is not the case at all with the evil queen and Evie. Evie was raised to believe that beauty was all that mattered, which is why she was kind of excited to go to Oradon Prep. She felt like there she would be able to find a perfect prince to match her good looks. Thankfully, she eventually learned that good looks aren't everything. Evie is portrayed by the beautiful Sophia Carson, but you know who would also do an amazing job in that role? Camila Mendes. You know, from Riverdale. She has the looks that could definitely pull off the role of Evie. Ben. We know you didn't think that we would finish this list without including Ben, did you? Who could leave out the next in line for the throne? Ben is the son of Belle and the Beast. Ben is basically what every girl wants their boyfriend to be. He also stands up for people who are being treated badly. Anyway, Ben's character is portrayed by Mitchell Hope. But you know who would also do an amazing job in the role? Ross Lynch. Remember, he was Austin Moon in Austin and Ally. Wouldn't that be a great way to shake things up? Carlos de Ville. Next up, we have good old Carlos de Ville. For a villain's kid, he is actually pretty kind and gentle. Unfortunately, that made him the target of a good bit of bullying in the film. He actually grew up with a weird fear of dogs until he went to Aragon Prep and met Dude. The two became best friends pretty quickly. Cameron Boyce plays the role of Carlos. But what if we took another Disney Channel star and put him in the role? You know, Camille McFadden from Casey Undercover? We think he would fit in just fine. Mal. Obviously, we had to include Mal on this list. Lady Maleficent, Bertha, is one of the main characters in the film. She is the daughter of Maleficent. Mal is a natural leader and decides to help her mother by stealing the fairy godmother's magic wand. But over the course of the film, she falls in love and realizes that doing evil is not fun for her. In the film, Mal is portrayed by Dove Cameron. We absolutely love Dove in the role, but it would have been super interesting if Bella Thorne had been cast in the role. Bella absolutely doesn't care what people think and would have made an amazing Mal. Don't you agree? That's it for What If Descendants 2 had a different cast. Who else would you have liked to see in the film? Let us know in the comments.